3, 2.
Hey everybody, Uncle Rich here. Happy New Year. That's right, it's a new year and hopefully we're gonna get off to a good start. A lot of things have been happening. Right now we're in a cold freeze, a polar vortex, and of course all the global warming deniers, they're having a field day with this, and Fox News, of course, they want global warming back. But, the one thing that, that I've tried to explain to everybody, it's really kind of simple. When the globe warms, the climate changes. It's that simple. And the problem is, I've been blogging with a lot of people, and even though I say climate change and global warming is simple, I'm dealing with simple folk. And I don't mean to insult anybody, believe me, because look, I'm not a Rhodes Scholar, I never will be, but I look things up. I try to find out what's going on. I don't want to remain simple. I want to know, and what I do is I look for things. And that's why when I'm blogging with these boneheads, and that's when I have to call them boneheads, because sometimes the stuff that they think of and what they present, and you guys know, you're starting to get to know me. What's the few things that I always say, If you're going to post something, you've got to post your evidence. Show me the proof. Show me the proof or pee off. Because, and I also want you to be specific and name your sources. And what happens is eventually somebody will step up to the plate and they'll post something. And whether it's from the Climate Depot, or they might get it from the Daily Caller. They'll take an article from a blog from anywhere. Doesn't matter who posts it, as long as it's an article about denial, and they'll try to run with it. And this is why, when somebody says something, without insulting, you want to say, "Are you one of the simple folk?" No, really. Look them right in the eye, and you don't want to be condescending, because that's what they always say. You think you know everything. No, I don't know everything, but I've taken the time to look it up. And when the climate scientists that are posting, that have published peer-reviewed studies, what more do you need to know? That the latest IPP, the IPC study was, I want to try to get this right, but it was done, let's see. The IPC study was done by 200 scientists, climate scientists. The report went through 3 years of writing, 2 rounds of reviews, 1,000 review comments. And then what happens? A couple of the deniers come up and they say, who are you going to listen to, them or me? And this is what we're dealing with, simple folk. And guys, like I was trying to say before, it's not necessarily to insult people, but you want to wake them up. And finally, we just want to get to the point where we just say, you just simply haven't taken the time to look into global warming. You simply haven't committed to looking at it. You're being told by people like Rush and Glenn Beck and Sean. And I tell you, I was listening to Rush Limbaugh today, and he must have said global hoax 2 or 3 times, and he had no facts, no figures, no data. I mean, it was embarrassing. But you know what? Like we've spoken about so often here, all they want to do is create doubt. That's all they want to do. And, we have the consensus report. Let's see if John's nimble. Let's see if you can throw up that that graphic for the consensus report, and you're going to see. In the consensus report, they did, I forget how many studies, but 97% of the climate scientists agree that global warming is happening and it's man-made. But the public perception is only that 45%. And why is that? It's because that's what Fox wants to do. Fox and the right-wing media, all they want to do is create doubt and confusion. They don't want to inform you. They want to inflame you. That's all they want to do. And I tell you, I'm really starting to get it. I mean, listen, in the beginning, when I first became an activist, I mean, I was confused. I think I really got my act together now. And I tell you, the proof is, if you guys want to have fun, anytime you want to come on the website, and John, if we could put the website up, because we have a lot of the comments, and you can read the comments that these boneheads post. And you'll go, wow, Rich, I understand what you're saying. They really are simple. And it's to the point, I don't know if it's so much as ideology or it's just the fact, I used to be a conservative. Trust me, I love the trickle idea economy. I bought the whole thing, hook, line, and sinker. Never questioned anything. Until one day I couldn't make any money and I said, what's going on here? What happened? And then I started to look, and guess where I ended up? Here. Because I tell you, you get guys like Average Joe. Hey, Joe! Joe is the best stalker I ever met in my life. This guy even goes so far as to take pictures off my website and make comments that he claims that I said. This guy is good. And I tell you, a lot of the simple folk, they got nothing better to do. They've been told by the 1% and by the fossil fuel industry, and they're just deniers. It doesn't matter. They deny that there's a problem with the climate, but yet they believe in an invisible friend in the sky. And a lot of times, when, on the blogs, they'll say, well, God is going to take care of this. And I'll say to them, hey, if God's going to take care of it, why don't you just pray away global warming for us? Make it simple. Why we got to suffer? Why we got to go through all the aggravation? And, you see what's happening now. We haven't had temperatures this cold in, I don't know, this was the coldest football game or the second coldest football game ever played. Isn't that telling you something? I mean, isn't all this starting to make sense? And another thing I found out today, which I really wasn't very certain of, but, when we put all the carbon dioxide in the air, it eventually ends up in the oceans. It ends up in the water. And when you mix carbon dioxide with water, you get calcium carbonates. And the calcium is what eats away at the reefs and at the clams and the shelled animal. So, you're going to have oysters without shells in the near future. But, hey, we got some problems. But on tonight's show, we're gonna give the old double reverse bada-bing hitch slap. Notice, Judy, I didn't say bitch slap. See, I'm getting good, right? But I still got the sing in there. We're gonna start off with Bill Maher, and we're gonna talk about Bill Maher and the Founding Fathers, something the teabaggers love to talk about. We want to get back to the Founding Fathers because we're a Christian nation, which we're not, but that's what they think. And Bill Maher is going to explain a little bit about that, and then we're going to hear from the president. And we're going to have the president give the old bada-bing to Fox. It couldn't get any better. And Mr. President, don't stop. Don't stop. When you got them on the ropes, keep hitting them. But these guys are going to find out. They're going to find out when healthcare starts to work. They're going to find when everybody starts to say, hey, this guy's doing something for the common good. You know, and I tell you, the Republicans, forget about it. They might as well move. They might as well move their operation because then, you know, them and the 1%, the Koch brothers, I tell you. And then, just to prove, like we do on the show, why we surround ourselves with the question marks, we're going to show Michelle Bachmann talking about, you know, the president referred to, and we're going to show that clip just to show that we don't make this stuff up. And then we're going to show you how the Tea Party is more or less like a circus. I tell you, when you see it, and when you see how the people in the Tea Party, and the one kid that interviewed him, he's terrific. He asked him questions, you know, like we try to do here, and then he shuts up. He asks him a question, and he sticks a microphone in their face, and I love it. And that's it. You make them answer. Make them be specific, and you'll find out the one thing they have in common. They don't know anything. Believe me, from the top to the bottom, they know nothing. And they're proud of it. And you're going to see tonight, you're going to go, man, Rich, these people really are simple. And you know, hey, we didn't make this up. I mean, these are videos that anybody can get off of YouTube. I mean, we didn't, you know, we're not pulling any punches here. And then, you know, one of the important things is we have to teach you how to speak teabag. That's right. They have their own language. We're going to teach you that. And then we're going to teach you how to spell teabag because they don't do that very well either. And when you see some of these signs that they hold up, I mean, hey, listen, I'm a terrible speller. But I mean, before I put something on a sign, I usually ask, hey, does this seem right to you? They don't care. And then we're going to have another clip from our old friend Sandy. And it's entitled, she's an older lady, and she loves Rush Limbaugh. And when you hear what she has to say, you're going to go, Rich, I see what you mean by simple folk. And then we're going to show you the Republican bubble. We've done this before with Bill Maher. You're going to love it. It's pee in your pants funny. And finally, at the end, if we have time, we're going to show you some smart people. That's right. We're going to show you the pride of America. We're going to show you Tanish Abraham, who started college at the age of 7. He's one of those Mesa scholars, just unbelievable. And there's another kid, Jacob Barrett. Yeah, he's an autistic kid. He remembers everything he ever read. And I tell you, you know, when you watch these kids, you're just going to go, wow. I mean, where was I? How did I miss all that? But I mean, these guys are unbelievable. All right, so we're going to start tonight off with some fun. We're going to start off with a clip from Bill Maher. And this is on the Founding Fathers, and we're going to show you what makes the simple folk tick. John, hit it.
And finally, new rule, now that they've finished reading the Constitution out loud, the teabaggers must call out that group of elitist liberals whose values are so antithetical to theirs. I'm talking, of course, about the Founding Fathers. Who the teabaggers believe are just like them, but aren't. One is a group of exclusively white men who live in a bygone century, have bad teeth, and think of blacks as 3/5 of a person. And the other are the Founding Fathers. Yes.
No, it's very good. Very clever.
Now, I want you teabaggers out there to understand one thing. While you idolize the Founding Fathers and dress up like them and smell like them, I think it's pretty clear that the Founding Fathers would have hated your guts. And what's more, you would have hated them. They were everything you despise. They studied science, read Plato, hung out in Paris, and thought the Bible was mostly bullshit.